So the quite hotly anticipated release of the Warhammer Imperium magazine is coming, and it's confirmed in the UK from the 25th of August. Hello and welcome back to Warspets Tactics, where today we're just looking again at the Imperium magazine, which finally has its release date confirmed, and it's going to be here within the next 2 months. I've mentioned it a few times on the channel already, including already doing a full review of the magazine, which I'll link down in the video description if you'd like to see. Basically though, Imperium is a weekly magazine that gets you some miniatures and some paints and other bits and pieces, and potentially it could get you quite a lot of miniatures for significantly less than you'd pay for them through Games Workshop. It is now confirmed that the UK release will be on the 25th of August. It's been reported by quite a lot of 40k news sources already, though I believe it was maybe the Warhammer site that had the news first. Well worth checking out. I don't think they're directly affiliated with Hachette Partworks in any way, but they seem to be covering the Imperium release in ridiculously good detail. Could well be worth a look if you're interested. The US release is still pegged for early 2022, and it seems very likely indeed that this magazine will come to everywhere that had Warhammer Conquest, the previous one with Space Marines vs Death Guard. It's come to quite a few countries now, including the USA, Canada, Australia, Germany and Spain, and I believe a few other places too. Certainly one to keep an eye on if you are looking at picking up some Space Marines, Necrons or other things at a bit of a discount. It's interesting that things have conspired so that it's the same date as Warhammer Plus releases. I don't think that was intentional in any way. It sounds like Warhammer Plus was delayed by a month or so, but kind of funny that it's two different subscription services launching at the same time. The price for the UK is £9 weekly or $12 for the USA, and if you look at the miniatures that you get for the price, it is a significant discount on all of them combined. Even more so when it comes to the USA than the UK, because Games Workshop marks up the price of their products over in the USA, but this doesn't seem to have been marked up in the same way. It's fairly close to being a direct currency conversion. Basically, when this comes to the USA, I suspect it's going to be really popular, as it's stacking savings upon savings. On top of that, a few of the first issues are heavily discounted. I believe the first one is just going to be £3 or $5 when it's eventually released. And for that you get a couple of characters, the Indomitus Lieutenant and the Necron Warden. Fairly commonly available, but still pretty nice given that Games Workshop usually charge something like £20 per character model. The first discount is a bit of a loss leader, I'm sure, but I still think it's pretty funny that they're literally charging £3 for something that they might well have charged £40 or more for in other circumstances. In terms of ways to buy it, you can subscribe directly through Hachette Partworks itself. You get an extra few free goodies thrown in, I believe. I believe they added in some plastic shears, glue, paintbrushes and other bits if you subscribe directly through them, and they're going to be shipped out in bundles of 4 once monthly, typically for £36 a month within the UK. You can usually also buy individual issues on the Hachette Partworks website, but you'll have to pay for postage on top of that, and they tend to go fast, particularly anything that's either unique or offers a very significant discount over Games Workshop's normal prices. Still though, if you can get your hands on any of the unique deals, then it could be one of the best ways to get a significant saving on models and get the absolute maximal value out of this deal. When I've made videos on this in the past, quite a lot of people have mentioned that they've had some issues with customer service from Hachette. From what I understand, the majority of people have had their orders satisfied and things delivered on time, but they do have a little bit of a reputation for occasionally missing issues and potentially taking really quite a long time to send a replacement, though I do generally believe that they tend to get there in the end. I'm not 100% sure how widespread of a problem are. The ones that I ordered through them last time arrived fine, but I would just be aware that that is a potential small concern. Otherwise, local newsagents and supermarkets should be stocking them. Obviously it's down to any given shop whether or not they stock them in significant quantities, but if it's really important that you get your hands on any given issue, there's certainly the potential to ask newsagents to order them in. With previous subscriptions like this, there's been an option to subscribe via Forbidden Planet, who I believe order the magazines from Hachette themselves, and I've heard quite good things about them being really quite on it for customer service. I'm afraid I'm not sure whether or not they are doing that this time round. I can't see any obvious option to subscribe on their website at the moment, but might be worth keeping your eyes out to see if that appears. Otherwise, even if you're not buying the magazine directly, there's certainly the potential for some of these kits to spill over into the third-party market. A massive influx of discounted kits is going to lead to some people reselling them that just don't want the models from their subscription, or maybe certain industrious folk looking to make a quick buck and reselling them. Generally, all of this is going to drive down prices on those models on eBay. For example, the Space Marines have certain models coming like Marnius Calgar and Rabute Gilliman. When people start to receive those issues, you should be able to acquire those characters for really cheap comparatively compared with how much Games Workshop sells them. Potentially that could be an option for people overseas to get their hands on some discounts as well. If you're making an order big enough to be worth the postage, then that could be one way to cash in on some deals for people selling things within the UK. Obviously, I can see it being pretty frustrating for a lot of people, knowing that it is coming for them, but they might have to wait a year down the line or something. As I said, I did previously make an overview video of Warhammer Imperium, but I'll just go over things in brief quickly. These are the initial issues that you get, 4 issues here. The first 2 are £3 and then £6, and then they go to their normal price of £9. The first one gets you a Lieutenant, a Necron Royal Warden, and some dice, and for £3 that's pretty spectacular for Games Workshop standards. The next one's also great, 3 Necron Warriors, a paint, and perhaps most importantly a nice Citadel paintbrush, all for £6. Then the next one may be a little bit worse, 3 Assault Intercessors and some blue paint for £9 or $12. And then if you want Scorpec Destroyers, you can get a whole unit of 3 of them for £9, in addition to some Leadbelcher paint. They're very commonly available for Necron players, but this is a way to pick up a whole bunch of them for an absolute steal, particularly considering Games Workshop normally sells their kit for something like £35 or so. This is around about a quarter of the price, and you get a paint included. Here's a quick breakdown for all the Space Marine kits, around about $316 or $580 in models. Plenty of cool characters, including Guilliman, Calgar, and a unique Primaris captain, and a bunch of different infantry. Not really too much on the vehicle front, and it does include the Phobos Armoured Start Collecting Box, and quite a few other fairly monopose models, so I would bear that in mind. There's then Sisters and Admech as well. The Sisters appears to be their new Start Collecting Box that they haven't even released yet. The monopose, Canoness, Battle Sisters, Seraphim, and other things, the ones that came out in their initial launch box. The Admech has a Dominus Engineer, 3 Servitors, and 10 Rangers or Vanguard, so basically a little combat patrol force of both. The Necrons get some seriously heavy content, a fairly complete cast of characters, tons of infantry, immortals, death marks, flayed ones, and all other bits, and even a fair few vehicle models included here, including an Annihilation Barge and Triarch Stalker. Overall, it does look like it's a pretty decent deal if you combine all the models together. You also get a bunch of terrain, a whole ton of paints, and of course quite a nice fun factor. You do get regular releases of 40k models, so it could be a cool way to build up a collection from the ground up, with regular manageable little shipments of models coming to bolster your forces. Overall, compared with Games Workshop stock prices, you stand to save around about 45% on the models alone within the UK, or around about 55% off within the USA, which is pretty insane for Games Workshop. Certainly could be worth a look either for individual issues or the whole thing. So as always, let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'm going to guess there's going to be a whole load about being annoyed that it's not coming to the USA yet. I'm sure they'll get there in time. If you've enjoyed the video, then feel free to subscribe to Auspex Tactics, where I'll certainly keep up with any news of the magazine and any cool issues that come out as they drop. I imagine some issues could have some serious savings based on some of the sprues that are coming out. Finally, if you've enjoyed the video, I would just like to mention the Auspex Tactics Patreon page, which is one way that you can support the channel if you'd like to. The Patreon is what keeps these videos coming quite so regularly, so if you are enjoying a lot, any support is enormously appreciated. Channel patrons get a fair few advantages, seeing certain videos early, regular votes to see what sort of things come next, and automatic entry to the regular prize giveaways, where I post out some big model kits once a month. If any of that sounds good to you, or you'd just like to help support, then the link is down in the video description. In any case, an enormous thank you for listening, and I'll hope to see you guys next time.